So you're excited to attend the OP12 Legacy of the Master pre-release and get yourself that winner Koby. Or maybe, just maybe, this is your first pre-release event for the One Piece card game. And you're wondering, how does a pre-release work and what should I expect when I attend the event? Well, I have won over 50% of all my sealed events, and every time a new set comes out, I am here to help you figure out how to navigate the set and learn about a pre-release. This is my guide to the OP12 Legacy of the Master pre-release. If you want to win this, you'll play this. Now here's what you'll learn in this guide: how a pre-release is played, the most optimal choices you can make beforehand, cards to look out for when building your deck that can be played against you, and understanding the card pool and gameplay environment of this set. Now, quick disclaimer, everything in this guide is geared to teach you how the event works and how to have the best outcome to win the event. But if there's any advice we give you that doesn't sound fun for your kind of experience or cards you want to play, gameplay you want to explore, just ignore it. Try to take all the other tips we give you and incorporate what you can to have the most successful experience possible. Never let what we tell you get in the way of having fun. So this is how pre-release is played. Each player will receive 6 booster packs, 1 2-card stamp promo pack as well, and you get to open those packs and construct a 40-card deck from those cards. So you'll have 6 packs of OP12, which is 72 cards, plus 2 stamped cards from the promo pack. Now your deck may contain any cards of any color, regardless of the color of your leader. You can also have more than 4 cards if you happen to pull more than 4 cards and you want to play them. The one thing that color and card types still matter for is for card effects. So while you can play a purple card in a non-purple leader, you still need your cards to see the right colors and types to activate and find other cards. So for example, searchers like OP12's Buggy can still only search red event cards. And cards that require a subtype either to target, to search, for cost or activation still require that card type. And if a Rainbow Luffy leader isn't being provided as the leader for the event, you are expected to bring your own leader or play with a leader you pull from your packs. Now, if you played a sealed event after release, you can bring a leader from the set that's from OP12, but usually on pre-release, if we're playing with leaders that aren't Rainbow Luffy, you're sort of expected at most stores to only play with a 12 leader if you pull it there. That way it's fair to everyone who may not have got to play another event. You also must bring 10 Dawn cards to play with. This is the thing people forget the most. Please always remember to bring your Dawn. And when it comes to pre-release, a lot of stores will tweak the general structure rules in ways that benefit their community. So I always recommend, if you're going to a new store for the first time for a pre-release, that you reach out ahead of time and figure out exactly how they're going to run their events. This leader is every single color in the game, it's every single card name in the game, it's every single type, and it's every single attribute. So anything relying on color, attribute, typing, or naming in regards to the leader is super playable. But some stores do still play with bringing your own leader, and if you are bringing your own leader, this is my tier list to the best leaders in sealed. The reason, aside from being provided more than people just do Rainbow Luffy now, is because Sanji is far and away the best one. This is the red Sanji from PRB 1. It just gives things rush. You just play something every turn and smash, and then you smash, and then you smash, and it's really not fun for anyone. But it is the best, so if you have to bring your own leader, I'd recommend bringing this. In S tier right below it is Yamato with its double attack, as well being to boost up your characters, and Jewelry Bonnie because its resting ability either 1-card counters for a Dawn, not a card, or removes blockers for attacks. It becomes a very high-end control game, and as busted as it is, it does get overcome by Sanji. I do still enjoy sealed Bonnie mirror matches personally. I do feel like there's a lot more technical and skill-based expression to go into it as opposed to the Sanji matches. And everything below in A and B tier are pretty usable. They really just depend more on the card set. Notably, I am adding Green Zoro from OP12 to this. I think the ability to attack character plus leader in a turn is pretty damn good for limited, so feel free to explore that. Things to remember about any sealed event. Now, your opponent will typically have less 2k counters than in a normal game. This means swinging for 6k is more effective at dealing damage and getting cards out of your opponent's hands than in constructed. They're more likely to need 2 1ks to counter out. And this scales obviously up from 6-on-5 swings to 8-on-5 swings. Card advantage is also less accessible in this format. You're playing way less searchers, and the ones you are playing have a higher risk of missing on their search, since your deck isn't fully stacked with the right targets. So your opponent will have less resources to leverage at any time and less ability to sculpt their hand. Triggers are way more likely in sealed. Now, because of the lack of color restriction, any decent trigger typically makes a player's deck. It's just any way to get an edge on your opponent. So be aware of your non-yellow opponents having plenty of triggers. We'll review how many relevant ones there are in this set coming up. Power reduction is at a premium. you are more times than not fighting over board presence to win the game. So being able to reduce power on your opponent's units to attack into them is super valuable. Now, when it comes to building your deck, there's some things you should almost always just have in your deck. Every single on-rate vanilla costs 3 or greater. These are cards where the power is 2,000 more than the cost. So 3 cost character with 5k power, 6 cost character with 8k power, etc. All your 2k counters, every single one. Blockers are a must, especially if they can block or attack. Events that give you at least 2k counter per cost. Example, if you pay 2 non to activate this counter event and you get at least 4k power, play that card. Well-priced interaction is always great. This is KO, power reduction, bottom decking, returning the hand, freezing or resting, or paralyzing. You need that paralyzing this list. That's a newer mechanic. It's not in this set, but still should know about it. And any triggers as long as they're also good on board or good for counter. Now, the card pool stats for this set. In terms of 2k counters, there are 2 cards that give 2k counter that are rare or above, and 19 under rare. Remember that the rarities do matter. You have 6 packs of OP12 to open, so you only have up to 12 rares or above rarity cards to have in your pool. There are 9 blockers that are rare and above, and 9 that are under rare. There are 0 free play characters that are rare or above. These are characters that just play themselves, usually from trigger. But there is 1 under rare. We have 3 rushers that are rare and above, and 2 that are not. These are also cards that give rush or allow rush. For removal cards, these are any cards that makes a character leave the board. We have 3 that are rare and above and 3 that are under rare. Cards that rest other cards, we have 2 that are rare or above and 2 that are under rare. For cards that freeze other opponent's cards, we have 1 that's above rare and 1 that is rare or above. For cards that freeze your opponent's cards, we have 1 that's rare or above and 1 under rare. Like I said before, 0 paralyzers in this set. Good triggers, there are 2 that I think are good that are rare and above and 2 under rare. And power reducers, which is proactively reducing power on your turn to fight into things or remove them. We have 1 that's rare or above and 1 under rare. Now, one thing that isn't on this list, I don't usually need to quantify it. It's not usually in large numbers. It's cards that give cards unblockable. And there are quite a few in this set. And I pulled them all out while we review some of the standout cards for sealed in OP12. We'll have a full set review stream coming soon, probably on Thursday, I'd imagine, if you're watching this the week it's released. But here's some standout cards. They're always cards that aren't SRs, and we usually try to do rare and below because those cards are the ones you're not already looking at for constructed that you may not be aware how good they are in limited. First up, we have Shanks. He's already a playable rare in constructed, but I want to make sure we remember he's in here. He's a 4/6 blocker with on your opponent's attack. Once per turn, trash one card from your hand. Give it to one of your opponent's leader or character cards minus 2k during this turn. So it's vanilla statted like we want, 4/6 easy. It can block also, so the turn you play it, it blocks a 5 for free. But then it also starts converting cards in your hand to 2k counter. That can be upgrading 1ks into 2ks or non-counter into counter. So that's really, really huge. Also, there's a restander card for your leader in this set. Plus, if they play Green Zoro, they can already restand their leader. So being able to give their leader minus 2k power for the turn is very relevant. We also have this 3/4 Jinbei with on play reveal 2 events from your hand. This character gains a rush during this turn. Then this character gets 1,000 power till the end of your opponent's next end phase. There are lots of good events to play in this set. They're usually locked behind the name lock restrictions, but with Rainbow Luffy, you're probably going to end up playing a lot in your pool. So it should be pretty easy to turn these cards into rushers and for your opponents to do so as well. So 3/5 rusher is vanilla statted. Rush is crazy in limited. Plenty of events to do so. I put C in this set. Yeah, we're going to want to play some Jinbeis. To Never Doubt That Is Power is a 0 cost event that says you may give 2 active Dawn to one of your Silver's Rayleigh. Remember, your Rainbow Luffy says his name is Silver's Rayleigh. Your opponent cannot activate blocker when the card given these Dawn cards attacks during this turn. So you make your Luffy unblockable and make it a 7k base. Or you can counter, give up to one of your characters or Silver's Rayleigh, aka your leader, plus 2k power during this battle. This is literally free unblockable. Yes, you have to give 2 Dawn. I'm pretty sure if you're swinging for lethal or swinging for an unblockable swing, you're already going to be putting Dawn on the thing you're making unblockable anyway. So this one is literally free. And it's common, so most opponents are going to have access to it. Inarashi is a 6/7 1k counter. Also common, I think this one's really big. It has activate main, may rest this character. Up to one of your opponent's rested characters that cost 5 or less will not become active in your opponent's next refresh phase. So it removes a threat from the board once your opponent's attacked with it or you forced it into rest. Inarashi says, no, you will not use this card anymore. Now you trade up using the Inarashi, but if your opponent wants to unlock that character, they have to swing into a 7k base, which is a pretty big thing they have to swing into. Makes it a little bit easier to counter out. And because you activate and then freeze their thing for their next turn, whenever you're done freezing it, you get to untap with Inarashi first. So the turn you play it, you just activate it right away. get something frozen, get that value, and then you continue to lock it down, or be the first one to untap one of these two characters and be swinging with a 7k. Again, because you're probably playing with Rainbow Luffy as your leader, this TCG is nuts. Remember, it exists in the set. I'm sure you're already aware, but just a reminder that this will be a 5/7 that rests of 6 costs or less, and then gives 3 to your leader to swing 8 on that rested character, or whatever the hell they want. Removing a blocker is fine too. Just remember, this is live for the pre-release. Now, a more uncommon card here is Elmepo. It's a 4/5 common with blocker, and on block rests up to one of your opponent's characters costs 5 or less. So it's a blocker that can also attack, which is always great. And on block, it can either remove a second attacker or force a blocker into rest. So it's really good at opening up the board. It's definitely a great card to establish when you're already ahead, when you're trying to add bodies to the board after you resolve a pretty good threat on the board, because it'll either double protect or it will force open more attacks. Here's the double attack card we talked about earlier. It's Luffy is the man who will become king of the pirates. There's actually 2 in this set. This is the green version, and it's a 3 cost main event that sets your Zoro leader as active with trigger up to one of your leader or character cards gains 1k power during this turn. Also, one of the good triggers are marked. Again, your Luffy leader is a Zoro as well, so let your Luffy attack twice. And you can even double attack when unblockable with the 2 Never Doubt, because that costs 0. So you play it for 0, putting 2 on, and then you're swinging twice unblockable once you play this. That's pretty good. There's other unblockable cards in the set, but that's the best value for double swing unblockable for sure. Sakazuki's huge value. It's a 7/8 with on play if your leader has a Navy type, draw 2, which your leader will. And the activate main, you may trash 1 card from your hand to get up to 1 rested Dawn card to your leader or characters. You're not going to use this one as much, but there's definitely going to be openings where the extra Dawn's going to push you over. Being able to go from like 10 to 11 Dawn usable for the turn can be huge. This set also doesn't have as many super large bodies in the set, so this 7/8 is going to put in a lot of work as well. Hina's a 3/3 2k counter, so we're already including it for that, but she also grants a unblockable ability by letting you choose a base cost 4 or less character and making it not able to activate blocker. I'm not going to pronounce his name. It's Burst. I always mess it up. Burst is a flex removal or card advantage card. Your leader is multicolored, so you will get to choose one. You can return a 4 or less to the owner's hand. Notably, you can reset your own thing, which means you can like attack with something, add it back for counter, or attack with something and knowing it would die on the crackback because you don't need to use more Dawn this turn, return it, and then replay it. That way it's active and can't be attacked into. Crocodile is probably my biggest flag for a common in this set. I think this thing is busted. I think this thing is busted in limited. It's a 6/8 vanilla static character with on your opponent's attack once per turn, Dawn -1. If your leader includes Baroque Works, it does. Up to one of your leader or characters gets 2k power during this battle. So it lets you free 2k counter once you're at 9 Dawn and above, because there really isn't other Dawn minus in this set. So this thing will just have you free 2k countering every single time. Like, this is a 6/8 I might not even consider swinging out with if I know I can't protect it really easily, because your opponent has to remove this thing. They have to kill it. Ivankov here isn't as big of a flag, but it's good to know about because it's either going to be like not great or it's going to be extremely good. It's a 6/7 with 1k counter that gets blocker if you have 4 more events in your trash. And on KO, you get to add an event back. Like I said, there's a lot of good events in this set, so you're going to be playing a lot, and it's going to be a lot you might want to buy back. So I think turning on the blocker will be relatively easy, so establishing a 7k blocker that blocks for 7 and then untaps and starts swinging for 7 is huge. And then if you kill it through KO, they will get value back. So you have to understand that this card can really swing resource tempo. Another unblockable card in the set, the Extinguishes All Sound created by your Influence technique, is a 2-cost main event. Up to one of your Trafalgar Law cards gains 2k power during this turn. Then, if the selected card attacks during this turn, your opponent cannot activate blocker. Now, notably, of course, this works on leader, but there are 2 Trafalgar Laws in the actual set. So this is one of the ones you can actually target on your character to get an unblockable with as well. With trigger, draw a card. Brochet Blow, I think I got that one right. I dare to say it. Is a 3-cost main event that says the number of Dawn cards on your field is equal to or less than the number of Dawn on your opponent's field. Draw 1 card, then give up to one of your opponent's characters minus 3k power for this turn. Now, unless you're playing the Crocodile, you probably won't get to play this until you're at 10 Dawn. If you're playing the Crocodile, you can turn it on a little bit earlier. But even having to wait till 10 Dawn to play this is huge. You get to pay 3 to minus 3k something, which means battle over battle, it will be minus 3k, which in itself will generate more than 3 Dawn worth of power if your opponent is forced to defend it. And if not, you probably just really need to get rid of it anyway. You should be saving it for that big threat you really need to take off the table. And you draw a card when you play it, so it replaces itself. Karasu is a great mid-range body in this set. It's a 5/6 1k counter. If your leader has Rev Army type, it gets +3 cost, which is relevant. There's a few cards that look for cost-based interaction, and this is one of the ones worth running outside of running those cards, so it'll help turn them on. And when attacking, if your leader is a Revolutionary Army type, which it is, if your opponent has 5 or more cards in their hand, they trash 1 from their hand. So It requires a 2k to counter on leader because it swings 6. So it's 1 2k, which is hard to get, or 2 1ks, which is great value out of their hand. But you're also going to be picking away additional cards on that attack. So a really good way to widen the resource gap. Hack is another Revolutionary Army card. Again, gets +4 instead of +3, taking him to 8. He also gains blocker. So in terms of Rainbow Luffy playing this card, it will always be an 8 cost with blocker once it's on the board. 5k power, of course, means it can attack on leader. And on KO, if your leader has Rev Army type, KO an opponent's character, base cost 4 or less. It can KO the opposing Rev Army characters, even if they're getting cost buff. And you can either use it to get rid of 2 attacks in a turn by blocking and blowing up another attacker, blowing up a blocker, or just throwing it into attacks, and if your opponent kills it, getting additional value off it. Ursa Shock is a 4-cost common removal. This is the best KO card under rare. It has main KO up to one of your opponent's characters with cost 4 or less, and if you have a character with cost 8 or more, you may kill a 6 cost or less instead. With trigger, draw a card, trash a card from the top of your deck. This is one of those cards that's really good for the Rev Army cards, but even if you're not playing them, you can still play this on a 10 Dawn turn, let's say, once you already establish a natural 8-cost body, and killing a 6 is still going to be pretty good. Caliber is a big value body. He can hit hard and draws cards, 5, 6, 1k counter. Your turn when a card is removed from you or your opponent's life, then you cannot draw cards using your own effects during this turn. So you can't stack them, and there's not really any way I can think of to take your own life in limited that makes any sense. But just playing this on board and telling your opponent, you either give me cards or I'm getting cards, while establishing a 5-6 body is going to be great. Another really powerful rare here is an 8/8 Don Quixote de Flamingo. If you have 2 or less life cards, this character gains Rush. Next to the Jinbei, this is the easiest Rush card to play, and one of the scariest. It also has on opponent's turn on KO, add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to top of your life card. So it comes out and immediately gets aggressive and gets in there, and if your opponent needs to take care of how many attackers you get by getting rid of it, if it's a KO removal, you are going to get back value. Now, the Sentamaru is just a vanilla, but it's not vanilla static because it has trigger KO up to one of your opponent's characters, cost 4 or less, which is definitely relevant. Just remember this exists. I Love You is a 1-drop 2k counter. This is a perfect example of counter that equals 2k per the cost that we want to play. But if you have 2 or less life cards, you also can add back a Trafalgar Law from your trash. I would probably already play this card unless I somehow pulled a butt ton of natural 2k counters already just to have more in the deck. But then if I have any number of laws in the set to buy back, this card just gets so much more value. And Slam Gibson is the premium removal of this set for limited. It's a 1-cost event with main rest 5 more. If your leader is Supernova type, which it is, add a character with cost 9 or less to the top or bottom of the owner's life face down. Now, this isn't just removing your opponent's cards. This is also, you can heal a card off rip. If your opponent thinks they have lethal, you just quickly gain a life and then be out of lethal on top of your next turn and kill them. It can also counter for 3k as well, which is great. This card is a backbreaker. Finally, I always like to go over the secrets on the set as well as some notable SPs because you're not likely to see them, but they are usually pretty impactful in sealed, so you should know what they are. Bonnie is a 5/6 blocker, so, already super playable. And on play of 8 or more rested cards, this counts your characters, leader, and Dawn. Draw 2, trash 1, then set 1 Dawn card as active. So pretty good, just like value engine card. You're probably not going to actually play it on 5 as much as you're going to play it on like 7, and then on top put that Dawn somewhere, have a blocker up. Kuma here though, way more impactful for limited, 6/7 on play. You may trash 1 card to add up to 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. It also gains 2 costs at the end of turn, so it becomes an 8 cost for a bit. And then it's insulated on opponent's turn on KO. You get to add 1 card from the top of your deck to the top of your life cards. So this card can definitely mess with lethal math and take your opponent off of their tempo. Finally, just the notable SPs you should know about. This ace is the only really good one from the regular SP set. It's a 5/7 that says you have 2 or less life, you gain rush. So, that's super relevant for a rush body. You want to know that exists. And you will probably know if your opponent has the Blackbeard because it's going to be worth so much money that people will probably react when they pull it. But if they do, it is a 10/12 blocker with activate main once per turn if your leader has Blackbeard Pirates type, which your Rainbow Luffy will. And this character was played on this turn. Negate the effect of up to one of your opponent's leader during this turn. Then negate the effects of up to one of your opponent's characters, and that character cannot attack until the end of your opponent's next turn. So again, this will super mess with combat math, super mess with lethal math. And if you hear someone react to it, just know in your head who pulled this because they're probably going to play it. And that is it for the OP12 pre-release guide. Let us know in the comment section if you have any questions, or you can contact us over on Discord. And I hope you guys have a great time at your local pre-release.